everybody. I'm testing out a new webcam because every now and then I want to do this live. Today I'm doing it recorded, and what I'm doing is just a piece of a chapter from the new Vince Zandri novel called The Embalmer, Steve Jobs, novel number one. And that's Jobs with a Z, not the guy who created the iPhone. So I'm just going to read a little bit. I'm going to put it up, see how it goes, and see if I can make this whole program, webcam stuff work down the road. And then maybe I'll stream it live. So here we go. Typing my username and password, I gain access to the State Unemployment Insurance Fraud Agency database. The thousands upon thousands of names of working-age men and women who collect their $385 per week for the requisite 6 months appears. Wow, Miller says, as he gazes upon all those names. Sure this is legal? Great question, I point out. If we were bad guys and knew what we were doing, we could probably hack into the bank accounts of every one of these individuals. That's a lot of names and social security numbers. Shocking, isn't it? I'll tell you what's shocking. I thought the economy was supposed to be rolling along. 5% unemployment or whatever the governor's touting these days in the press. The president, too. What most people don't know is that the unemployment number is a fabrication. What it doesn't take into account is the number of unemployed workers who have given up looking for a job. Did you know there are no... Oops. Did you know they are no longer counted among the unemployed? He sips his coffee. Okay, so you add in the employed/unemployed, and what do you get? The real number is more like 15%, and that's no joke. Genuine shock on his face. Kind of sobering when you think about it. Mess that up. Kind of sobering when you think about it. It's also why there's so much fraud out there. I drink some of the cold Coke. No matter how old I get, there's still nothing like an ice-cold Coke on a hot summer's day. So, what am I looking for? Miller gets up, comes around to my side of the booth. You mind? He asks. It's your diner, I say. It's my city. The diner belongs to Jack. He shoves himself in beside me, and together we gaze at the screen. Why are these names highlighted in red? Highlighted. My Apple Magic mouse pad has been jerky lately. I don't know what the problem is. And why is it doing that? Weird. Okay, I've got to fix that. I said it. He got mad at me and screwed my recording up. Very annoying. Why are these names highlighted in red? He asks. Those are the people that are either currently under investigation for fraud and or are on the UIF watch list. Think of it as a terror watch list, only unemployment insurance fraud. I see, he says. So the red kind of narrows it down. Narrows it to a... Two-mere, not A. Ain't no A in there. Narrows it to mere tens of thousands, if that's what you mean. Needle in a stack of needles, he says. Tell you what, can we bring up the names according to the industry in which they were employed prior to going on unemployment? There's an app for that, I say. Raising my hand, I make a pointer with my index finger. Point at the search engine in the upper right-hand corner of the database. What do you want me to look for? Funeral parlor. A funeral parlor. I've never been to one of those. Funeral parlor. Funeral services, mortician, embalmer. I don't know. Something that would indicate somebody who worked for a funeral parlor and therefore would know a little something about the embalming process and how it works. Maybe even have access to some of the equipment required for the procedure, if you want to call it that. I go to type something in, but Janice comes to the table with our food. She sets it down in front of us, careful not to get anything on my laptop. My cheeseburger with extra crispy fries smells a hell of a lot better than Miller's chef salad, creamy Italian dressing on the side. In fact, his doesn't smell like anything at all. "Don't you two look cozy?" Janice comments with another wink of her eye. A sense of humor to go with the sweet personality. I just might melt on the spot. I think I'll have to get her number before this working lunch is over. "Miller's not my type." I return the wink. He turns to me. "And why's that?" "Jobs. And why's that, Jobs?" "And why's that, Jobs? Because I'm a cop?" "It's because of your gun, detective," I say. "I'll never understand men," he says, pouring the dressing onto his green chicken strips. Onto his greens chicken strips. See the mistakes you make? He says, pouring the dressing onto his greens, chicken strips, and hard-boiled half. Oh. Okay, you know what? Sometimes you roll, you screw it up, and you just mess it all up. He says, pouring the dressing onto his greens, chicken strips, and hard-boiled egg halves. My wife understood me, though. "Where is she now?" I ask. "Died on the operating table. You spend enough time with me, I'll tell you about it one day, but not now." "Sorry I brought it up." "No worries, Jobs. It's fair game." "You two lovebirds need anything else?" Janice interjects. I'm thinking, here's my opening for her number. We even lock eyes for a brief, yet sustained moment or two. But I lose my nerve, and she goes back to her business. Using both hands to lift my burger off the plate, I steal a bite of it. I'm joking. Sometimes you try to do it real low, and you screw it up. It's hot, juicy, and delicious. It's also free, which makes it taste even better. Wiping my hands with the napkin, I set my fingers back on the computer P board. You ever have a P board? Those are great. P board. Wiping my hands with the napkin, I set my fingers back on the computer keyboard. Type funeral parlor employees into the search engine. A list of maybe 2,000 or 3,000 long show up. Well, that narrows it even more. Miller observes. That ain't Miller talking. Sometimes I don't label them right. Well, that narrows it even more, Miller observes. But that's still pretty long. Let's search by county, I say. I type in funeral parlor employees, Albany County. That narrows it down to about 2,000, give or take, I add. But let me ask you something, Miller. Can't your perp have worked in the funeral business anywhere in the state? Or the country, for that matter? He eats some salad. Sure, but we go out of state right now, it becomes an FBI matter. And once the feds get involved entirely, say goodbye to control. I don't like how that sounds. And I lost my space, goofing off. There we go. I'm just going to do a few more lines, and I'm done today with this test and video, because this chapter, she goes on for a bit, Captain. There. Tablets, not paper. He eats some salad. Sure, but we go out of state right now, it becomes an FBI matter, and once the feds get involved entirely, say goodbye to control. So, for now anyway, I like to concentrate on Albany and see what we can see. I eat some burger and several fries at once. You got a hunch? I say out of the corner of my full mouth. You got a hunch? You got a hunch? I don't know if I'd leave that be. You got a hunch? I'll try that like that. You got a hunch? I say out of the corner of my mouth. I say out of the corner of my full mouth. That's just a quick edit. Boop. Boop. Go. All the victims have been from Albany thus far, and the bodies have been found in Albany. The latest in Washington Park, on a park bench, in a seated position. Classy, I say. Then my eyes once more locked onto the computer screen. Any names stick out at you? Let's funnel out the suspected unemployment insurance fraud people first. Wait, I insist. How do you know the killer is also committing insurance fraud? I don't know for sure, which is why you're sitting here clogging your arteries. But it's something that fits the profile. The first victim was found inside her car in a parking garage. Her one hand on the wheel, the other on the gear shift, her head positioned like she was about to back out of the parking space. Eyes open, sunglasses on. The guy, again if it is a guy, is putting them in realistic situations, as if they were wax figures, or even those human mannequins you sometimes see at fairs or amusement parks. Exactly, it's part of his M.O. And the second? Redhead, about 40, discovered sitting in a chair at an umbrella-topped table outside the Starbucks in Loudonville, North Albany. Ooh, let's see if I can make that tight. Get this, her hand was wrapped around an iced latte, and she appeared to be sipping from it with a straw. I must have missed that in the papers, Miller. You know about the third one in the park? Sitting on the park bench, her hair made it look like she was blowing in the wind. Yeah, she was blowing in the wind. Yeah. This is the end of it. You know about the third one in the park, sitting on the park bench. You know what? I'm screwing up enough. Okay, that's enough. Just wanted to test it out. I hope you've enjoyed this, if you've even watched it. And if you would like, make comments. And maybe I'll do more of this on a regular schedule. Working full-time and doing this part-time, it's hard to have a regular schedule, but Saturday mornings and some Sundays and some other weekdays are the best, but Saturday morning is my main time to get these books done. So anyway, I appreciate it. Thank you. Have a good couple of days and a good week. And let me figure out how to stop recording. There we go. My jerky mouse here. Stop it. Bye.